your cool cats and kittens. I had to do that. Alright, so today I am going to show you how to float on a magic carpet. Okay, we have this carpet right here, as you can see. So to do that today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have one camera on a tripod, and I am going to wirelessly connect to it with my phone. My camera over there, which is actually filming right now, it's connected. It's wirelessly connected to my phone, so I can actually see what's being filmed on there. So that's going to make this really fast. So I'll just be on the carpet and look on here, and I can take the pictures on here as well. If you look carefully on my screen, let me see if I can brighten the screen for you guys. If you look on my screen, that's an image of me being filmed back there. Okay. For each picture, I would get off the carpet, move it forward, get back on it, and go down in a position of skating, or actually look like I was floating on something, and just took the picture with my phone. So I kept doing that over and over again. But then to simulate the flying effect, to be off the ground, I brought in the black box. So the black box makes me elevates me. And what I did was, prior to taking the picture of the black box, I took a picture of the background. I went behind the camera and took a picture. So in Photoshop, I would just overlay the picture of the black box and just erase the black box from there, leaving the background, and this creates the effect of me floating. Of course, this wasn't properly done or anything, but if you have time and you align it properly, it will actually look pretty smooth. This is just to give you an idea, and I'm going to take you into Photoshop, Lightroom and Photoshop now, and just show you. Oh, welcome to Lightroom. And I try to tweak stuff here a little bit before I send them over to Photoshop, because I am just used to Lightroom. I'm a wedding photographer, wedding and portrait photographer, so I use Lightroom a lot, and I do a lot of batch edits and stuff like that. So I'm just used to Lightroom. You don't need to bring it here first. But what I do is I bring it here first, and then adjust a few things, exposure, however you want the picture to be. Or if you took it right, you don't have to do anything. So in here, you just select the pictures you want. So as you can see, I'm just going over some of the pictures that are here. You select the ones you think will make the animation work. So what I did was, you can see I started with the black box, and then I took it off because I wanted to start off without the black box. And then when I got closer to the camera, since I just put the camera on the ground, it would look like I'm elevated off the ground. So initially I had the camera on a tripod, and the effect wasn't easily visible, but with the camera on the ground, it looked like I was actually elevated off the ground clearly, without somebody having to strain their eyes and stuff like that. So once you select the pictures that you want to use here, then you would, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to select maybe like 2 pictures just to show you guys something here. Okay, so as you can see, halfway in between, I took a picture of just the background. Now this is very important, because this was when I started using the black box, and I wanted to make it look like I was floating, so you'd have to replace the black box with the background. Now, if you took a picture of the background while I was all the way back there, the focus plane would be very different, and it would just look out of place. So I focused right on this bump here, as you can see, and what happens with that is that it renders what's close to the camera out of focus and what's far away out of focus. So that makes it a little bit more realistic. And then I went on to take more pictures. So now I had the black box, so I was taking pictures with the black box. So the simple idea here is that I'm going to take this to Photoshop and then remove this black box, But because I already have the picture of the background behind it, it will just show through and look like I was floating on just this carpet. Okay, so now that we are on the same page, I'm going to just select two pictures here. This picture right here, okay, and then I'm going to select the background picture. Where is the background? Scroll back here, and sorry guys, I'm not the best teacher. I feel like I'm jumping around. Okay, once you select these two pictures, right? But for your project, you have to select all these pictures. I don't want to select it because it takes a long time to load in Photoshop and all that. Well, if you have a faster computer, you'll be fine. But I have like a bazillion programs running at the same time. So I'm going to go to edit in, watch this, open as layers in Photoshop. Don't just go to edit in Adobe Photoshop. Go to open as layers because you want them to open together in the same window so you can manipulate it. Okay, so now we have what did I do? Okay, so now we have both pictures here. We have the background and the picture itself. Now let's put the background on top of this picture. So now that the background is on top of this picture, we would simply just go to the eraser tool, which is right here. And once we hit the eraser tool, you know, we can zoom in a little bit. You hit the Z button and then you hold it down and then you move your mouse to the right and then you zoom. So you hit the space bar, you grab it, you can move it anywhere you want. So I want this so that I can see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this eraser button small, and just watch this. I'm just going to erase this black box, and as I erase it, the background shows through because I put that layer right below it. So you have to do this for every single picture in the frame. And if you are going to do 24 frames per second, that means that you're in trouble, you know. It's a lot of work. If you have a 10-second video that's 240 pictures, you have to do this too. So you just do this. And what I like to do is, there's something called focus breathing. I can't go into detail right now, but because of focus breathing, even though your camera didn't move, because you keep moving and taking different pictures, the plane of focus shifts ever so slightly. So it's important that you don't just erase just the bottom of this. If you look carefully, you can see there's like an arch down there, that you make this eraser big enough and erase as much of this as possible. And as I'm erasing, you can see the background moving ever so slightly. Now that is focus breathing. So try to do as much of that as you can. And it's just, if you don't have a cinema lens, there will be a little bit of focus breathing, and you can avoid that by, you know, making more of the background shine through. So that's it, and there we are, we're floating. After you have cleaned it out like this, let me show you what it looks like without the background. Oh, this is what you did. So we basically cleaned out the box but without the background. And now when I allow the background to show through by clicking this button right here, it looks like we are actually floating, and it doesn't look too fake. So that's it. It's a lot of work, and the reward is just satisfaction, you know. That's it. So have fun with this, and the next thing you do after this is that you merge the two files. So you make sure you have a copy of your background. Always have an extra copy of a background. Click on it, Control J, and then once you have a copy of the background, now you take this, you click on this, you hit Control, you click on the next one, and you right click, and then you merge those two layers to make that into a picture. So that's one picture. Now you go to the next, the next, the next, the next, the next, the next. Once you are done with once you are done erasing the box from each layer, and you have several layers down here, you go and export them as individual pictures. So to do that, you go to File, Export, where is it? Up here. And then you go to Layers to Files, right there. So Files, Export, Layers to Files, and then you hit Run. You can select a prefix so that each file will start with a special, like with the same name, just so that you know that this came from this group of files. But after that, just hit Run, and then it will go through and do that. I already did that, so I'm not gonna do it this time. And then once you have all your files, now you drag your files into whatever video editing program that you use. I use Adobe Premiere, so I'm gonna go to Premiere, which is open right here. Okay, so now that we have Premiere open, here, all right, so you pull the folder, you make sure all your pictures are in one folder, and you pull the folder and you put it here. I just call this Aladdin, and then all my pictures are in here, right? These are the pictures that I've worked on, and each one of them, as you can see, the box has been removed and they are just ready to go. Now you select all your pictures, Control A or Shift click top and bottom, however you select all your pictures, and then right after you select the pictures, you right click on any of the pictures, and then you go to speed or duration. And I made mine 0.02. okay, this is 0.1 here, but the one I ended up using was 0.02. The 0.1 was a little too fast and it was a little too jittery, and for the fact that I didn't make it very well, it wasn't well aligned, it was not pleasing. So 0.02 worked for me. So if you make yours better and smoother, you could use 0.01 and it will actually flow and be nice and smooth. So yeah, so this just makes sure that it doesn't play each picture for 4 seconds before it goes to the next, and it plays like a video. So once you do that and you hit OK, then you just click and drag it to your timeline, and that's it. All right, thank you guys for watching, and do well to subscribe, and stay motivated. Bye.